Okay. Now, so far this semester, everything that we've been doing with trigonometry has always been with right triangles, right? Even when we were looking at circles, we were still looking at those angles in a circle and then using those angles and making a right triangle with them. So everything we've been doing has been going back to right triangles. Well, what we need to do now is to expand on some stuff and look at triangles that are not right triangles, right? So that means that we're looking at oblique triangles. So that's one definition that you need to know is oblique. And it just means that you're going to have a triangle that doesn't have a right angle in it. You also need to be sure that you know that this is angle, side, angle. You know two angles and you know the included side. So you know that you are going to be using your law of sines here. All right, first thing I'm going to do to solve this is to figure out what this other angle is. Right, my first step here is to find A. Well, that's going to be 180 degrees minus 53 minus 47. You could add 53 and 47 and then subtract from 180. Y'all know how to find the missing measure here. So this is going to give you 80 degrees. So I know that this is 80 degrees. So I've got all of my angles now. Whenever I'm using the law of sines here, I always want to start out by finding that other angle. All right, now look at what I have here. I have an angle side pair. If I know an angle and its opposite side, then I can use the law of sines. So I'm going to, I guess we'll just do this in alphabetical order. I'm going to find B and then I'm going to find C. So I need to be using my law of sines here, these ratios. What did I do? I put this, I forget, I keep forgetting whether I put the sines on top or put the A's on top. So I'm going to have 7 over sine of 80 degrees is going to equal B over sine of 47 degrees. Right? This angle side pair and this angle side pair are in proportion to each other. So I just need to solve this. So B is going to be 7 times the sine of 47 degrees divided by the sine of 80 degrees. And you're just going to stick that into the calculator. Now, be sure that your calculator is in degree mode. Everything that we're going to be working with in this section, working with the law of sines, and in the next section with law of cosines, we're always going to be in degrees. So you would just stick this into the calculator, and I believe your homework is going to ask you to round to the nearest 10th here. So this would be 5.2. So that's B. And then I need to find side C. So I'm going to do the same type of thing here. I'm given this information. I want to use this information that I'm given instead of this number where I've estimated. If you can go back to one of your original pairs, angle side pairs that you're given, use that instead of this rounded number here. Because when you solve for C, You may be off a little bit if you're using this rounded number. So this is going to be C over sine of 53 degrees. So C is going to be 7 times the sine of 53 degrees divided by the sine of 80. And that is going to give you approximately 5.7. And remember that when you are solving these proportions, you cross multiply and divide, you multiply the two that are diagonal, divide by the other number. Okay, now my second example that I want to look at, I'm going to be given some information that's just written out without a picture. And I think that sometimes it helps to make a sketch. And your sketch doesn't have to be like to scale or anything. And it doesn't really matter where your A, B, and C are for your angles to start with, whether like A is on the left or up on top or on the right. This is going to be 31 degrees. This C is 39 degrees. But I do know that little c is going to be the side opposite angle C. So this is going to be 220. So this is going to be side A, and this is going to be side B. I know an angle side pair. So I'm going to be using the law of sines. Now, if you look at the information that you're given information on two angles and then a side that's not included. So this is angle, angle, side, right? So we're using the law of sines for this problem. And again, I always like to start with angles if I can. So I know two of my angles, I can easily find my third one. So that's my first step here, is to find angle B. So it's going to be 180 minus 31 minus 39. So 110 degrees. So this angle B is 110. So now I've got enough information that I can find the measure for side A and the measure for side B. And again, I'm just going to do those in alphabetical order for no other reason than it's just sort of a way to kind of keep me organized when I'm doing these problems. So I've got side A is going to be in proportion to sine of 31 degrees. And then I know my angle side pair that I'm given with the C's is 220 over sine of 39 degrees. So I can solve for A here. A is going to equal 220 times the sine of 31 divided by the sine of 39 degrees. You would stick that into the calculator and you get approximately 180.0. And then you're going to do a similar thing to figure out side B. Let me do this real quick. I know that it's about time to go here. So I have this angle side pair for the B's. And that's going to be in proportion to my C's. Then I solve this for B, and I get approximately 328.5. And when you go back and look at your picture, your biggest side should be opposite your biggest angle.